What is up, everybody? It's Cobes here, and today I'm going to be ranking every single Season 7 back bling besides the Battle Pass. Also, I'm not going to be ranking any of the back blings that we got this season that came with old skins that came out before Season 7. Also, guys, if you could, drop a like, subscribe if you guys are new, and use code CobesMind in the item shop, or Magnus, he'll have to hammer you with his pickaxe. So I thought I would talk about the new back blings we got this season that were for old skins. So we got the bird shot that came with the crack shot. Overall, I thought it was pretty decent. I think it's a decent back bling. It would probably be somewhere in the middle of this list. We also got the Giddy Gunner and the Mini Marauder that came with the Ginger Gunner and the Merry Marauder. I think they're both alright. They're not my personal favorite. They would probably be a little bit lower than the middle of this list. And then the Combat Wrath, I actually do like on green skins or Christmas skins. I think it's pretty good. But this one, I guess it's Tinsel Toes back bling, or maybe even the Codename Elf's back bling. And by the way, it doesn't come with the skins. You got it for free by doing challenges. At my number 38 spot for the worst back bling this season, the Flutter Frost. The Flutter Frost. Though, however, you know what, Epic Games, stop doing this to me. Let me pronounce these names correctly. An F and an L and a U all back to back? Come on, give me a chance here. But overall, I do believe this is the worst. I don't really think it goes with any skin in this game. I don't know exactly who it's made for besides the Sugar Plum, and I don't like that skin. So if I'm not going to use it on the original skin, and I'm not going to use the original skin at all, and I'm not going to use it with anything else, what is the point? This one is by far one of the worst. I never see anyone using it. Moving on to my number 37 spot, I had to give it to the Saltwater Satchel. And for my favorite skin this season, it did have one of the worst back blings. At my number 36 spot, the Brat Bag. I mean, they're the same. They're very similar at the very least. They're just like a bag full of stuff. They're a circular item on your back that really has no purpose, no point. It's not like, oh, that's cool, that bag full of random garbage, that bag full of little children with a Krampus, that one's cool. I want to use that. Moving on to my number 35 spot, I had to give it to the Eternal. I really do believe this is one of the oddest back blings we've gotten, and there's really no point to it. I don't understand what it is, and I don't really care to look up what it is. I'm not sitting here looking up the history of different Fortnite items. It's not that deep. It shouldn't be that deep. Fortnite, chill out. This is a kid's game. Give us something we can understand. Moving on to my number 34 spot, I had to give it to the Arc Wings, and I know this might be placed very low on this list. Some of you may disagree, but honestly, they're just a little bit too big, a little bit too fluffy for me. I don't really think they look all that great on white skins, black skins. I don't think they look good on any skin in this game. I think they're just kind of an item that I personally don't like using at all. And for me, wings have to be a little bit smaller for me to like. Either medium size or small. If they're huge, if they're massive, I'm really not going to like them. This one just takes up too much of the skin, and I don't like it. Moving on to my number 33 spot, I gave it to the Canister Carrier. And this one really reminds me of the Tag Bag, but I think it is a little bit of an upgraded version of the Tag Bag. I wouldn't say it's as bad, but I still do believe this one is pretty awful. Moving on to my number 32 spot, I had to give it to the Capacitor. And this one, it comes with the Tech Ops. I mean, I don't really like the design. It reminds me of the Zenith's back bling, but it's just worse. And I always hate when Epic makes a reskin of something else and they make it worse than the original version. It's like, why make the reskin? If you're gonna make a reskin of something, I believe it has to be better. The Capacitor, it's just not as clean or smooth as the Zenith's back bling, and I feel like it's worse, and that's why I put it at the bottom of this list. Moving on to my number 31 spot, I had to give it to the Board Bag, and this one has yet to come to the shop. Same with the Canister Carrier. I'm positive I'm not going to like the Canister Carrier. For the Board Bag, maybe I'll like it a little bit more. Maybe I'll dislike it even more than I thought I do already. But I think it's going to be a pretty bad back bling. We'll have to wait and see. It's just a backpack with a skateboard mixed in there, I guess. Moving on to my number 30 spot, I had to give it to the Glow Show. And this is a back bling I wish I liked. I just simply do not like it. I think the color scheme is not really there. It's just a colorful back bling that doesn't really work out in my opinion. Moving on to my number 29 spot, I had to give it to the Used Racket. I think the biggest flaw with this back bling Its color scheme really doesn't match up with too many skins in this game. And I don't think it's amazing by any means. I do think maybe if the color scheme was a little bit different and it worked out with more skins, then it might be higher up on this list, but it still would probably be somewhere in the middle, even if it did have a different color scheme. At my number 28 and 27 spot, I had to give it to the sight sling and the scope satchel. Overall, I think it's a cool idea. It just doesn't look as cool as you think it would. Moving on to my number 26 spot, I gave it to the frozen iron cage. The only problem I have with this one, it's not as good as the iron cage. I think the iron cage is a lot better. At my number 25 spot, I had to give it to the signal hub. And even though this one is reactive, I really don't see it. It's not like, oh my god, it's evolving, here we go, finally, I've been working all game for this one. It's not really like that. This one, you can't really tell the difference between its base stage and the reactive stage in game. I really don't see it. It becomes a little bit more colorful, but I feel like they could have just added this back bling in as the reactive stage and have it not be reactive. If they're gonna make it reactive, it has to be super cool in my opinion. But overall, I think this one is decent. I like the look of it. I just have that one gripe with it. At my number 24 spot, I gave it to the Sweetheart. I think this one is decent. It's just not as good as the Scully Satchel, and they're both heart-shaped back blings, so I'm gonna put this one a little bit lower on the list. At my number 23 spot, I gave it to the Snow brand, and this one is a reskin of the Wolf Pack, but the Wolf Pack to me is already a perfect back bling, and we don't need a reskin of it. This one is just worse. It's the winter-themed Wolf Pack. I think it's alright though. At my number 22 spot, I gave it to the Shadow Wings. The Shadow Wings, the only problem I have with them, they're a little bit too tiny. I feel like if they were to be going down instead of facing upwards as wings, they could be a little bit cooler. But I understand Epic Games wanted to go in a little bit of a different direction with this back bling and these wings. So I respect them for it. It's just not my favorite. At my number 21 spot, I gave it to the Ice Spikes. And I do think these are cool back blings now that you actually have edit styles with them. I love that Epic Games is adding edit styles to skins I already have. I understand if you'd be pissed that you bought a different skin and not the Ice Queen since she has so many different edit styles and her back bling does as well, but I do believe the edit styles place this back bling higher up on this list than it would have been. Moving on to my number 20 spot, I gave it to the Snack Shot, and I do like the idea of having a mini crack shot on your back. Moving on to my number 19 spot, I had to give it to the Prodigy back bling, the Tubulator, I don't know how to pronounce it, but the Prodigy back bling with the PS4. This one I do believe is a better version of the Elim, and I really like having any back bling that counts your kills in game. I think those are really cool ideas. I think the Elim looks a lot worse than this back bling, the Prodigy back bling, so I have to give it a higher spot for sure. At my number 18 spot, I gave it to the Emblazoned Buckler. I do believe this is an upgraded version of the rear guard and it looks a lot better. I think this sort of design is really cool and I do like this back bling. At my number 17 spot, I had to give it to the Frozen Love Wings. Overall, I know it's a reskin of the Love Wings, but I don't know if it's better or worse. I do like using them though. At my number 16 spot, I gave it to the Frozen Red Shield. I think this is a really cool shield, but it's not even close to being as good as the regular Red Shield. At my number 15 spot, guys, I know I was tough on it, but the Fallen Wings. I thought this was honestly just a reskin of the regular Love Wings, but now using it, actually seeing it in game and not from screenshots, I really like how detailed it is. It's almost like there's veins in your wings, and I don't know why, but that looks really cool to me. But overall, I was harder on the Fallen Wings than I should have been. I do like them. Moving on to my number 14 spot, the Luminous Lamp. You know, the Grimbles isn't all bad. I do think he has a really cool back bling, and I would say this is my favorite back bling to use with the Dazzle, this one and the Criterion back bling, the Stabilizer. I think this one is really cool if you want to just use a very simple back bling. It is reactive, by the way. It lights up as you progress further into the game. Or I think when the light is out in the game. I don't know exactly which one. If someone wants to leave a comment down below telling me, please do it because I don't know. Whenever I use this back bling, I can never figure it out. At my number 13 spot, I gave it to the Reinforced Backplate. This one really reminds me of the Subjugator, but I feel like the Subjugator, the problem with it, it's just a little bit too big and it was facing in the wrong direction. I like how the reinforced backplate is facing right instead of left, and it's a little bit smaller. I like the color scheme a lot too, even though it's a little bit out there. Moving on to my number 12 spot, I had to give it to the Snow Star. This one, I can't really speak on it because it's just so simple, but I like its design. At my number 11 spot, I gave it to the Scrappy. I think this one was executed perfectly by Epic Games. I really do love the design on it. I love a dog face with different car parts mixed in, and it's called Scrappy as well. And Sparkplug, I'm assuming she's some sort of car mechanic. That's her look to me, at least. That's what she looks like. But tell me what you guys think about this. I really do like using it. I think its color scheme works with a lot of skins as well. At my number 10 spot, I gave it to the Snow Cone. And guys, any sort of different animal designs I can wear on my back that actually look good, it's honestly gonna get just points up. So many points. It's gonna rise up through the rankings all the time. And I love how you can wear a little polar bear on your back. And if you guys did not know, I think as you get kills, I don't know how many kills you have to get, but it starts shooting like a slush, some like slushy snow out of its mouth. I really like that about it. At my number 9 spot, I gave it to the Runic Shield. I feel like this one is better than the emblazoned buckler by far. I like the regular shield design on this one. I think they're both dope though. At my number 8 spot, I gave it to the Glimmering Cloak, and since we have so many different Christmas skins out and so many different winter themed skins out, I feel like this blue color scheme just works with so many skins. I love this back bling, I love the cloak, I love the cape, whatever you want to call it. It's amazing. At my number 7 spot, I gave it to the Disco Ball. Not really an explanation here, I feel like it's just self-explanatory. Moving on to my number 6 spot, I had to give it to the Malcor wings. These were my favorite wings this season, and this is another good combo with any red or orange skins out there. And as you guys know, my favorite skin is Dazzle, and I think these wings are amazing with her. And she doesn't really have too many great wings that actually match her color scheme. So this one, definitely one of my favorites. Moving on to my number 5 spot, I had to give it to the Techie. I absolutely love the pink color scheme, the pink and red, but the pink really stands out, I would say. We don't get too many pink back blings that actually are amazing, and I would say this is one of them. Very simple though. At my number 4 spot, I had to give it to the Trash Lid, and this one is by far one of my favorite, most simple back blings we've gotten this season. This one, it goes great with gray, black, or white skins, or any other skins out there. It's universal, guys. I think this one is definitely something you should look into getting. I would say buy the skin just for the back bling. Moving on to my number 3 spot, I gave it to the Slushy Junior. And guys, again, I love any sort of different animal or creature on your back. This one, it's just too cute not to love. At my number 2 spot, I gave it to the Scaldy Satchel, and not the OG version, not the base stage version, the upgraded version, the regular heart on your back. It's just so simple, but it looks so good at the same time. Thank you, Epic Games, for this back bling. I absolutely love it. But at my number 1 spot, guys, the Stitches. By far, no competition. Easily the best back bling this season, by far. I would have to say this is top 5 of my favorite back blings in this game. I absolutely love it, guys. I think it works out with every skin as well. Tell me what you guys think about my list. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I totally understand. Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye, guys.